So in this paper 2 writing, there are two parts. So the first part is a compulsory task. It will be in the form of a letter or email, and with an open prompt to be addressed. The range of functions may include the following: expressing users, requesting, giving information, explaining, apologizing, thanking, suggesting, and expressing preferences. The steps of part 1 are the following. Email is written in response to the situation outlined in the input information. And candidates can expect to write it, for example, a college principal, English-speaking friend, or a colleague. It can be a letter that is written in response to the situation that is also outlined in the question, and candidates can expect to be asked to write letters to an English-speaking friend or a colleague, a potential employer, a college principal, or a magazine editor. So the input for part 1 is about 160 words. It is made up of a text, mail or letter, and notes that may be supported by visual or attachments such as photo, timetable, or advertisement. Here is an example of it. And I have also given here the example of the question, so you can see it in the handout. It's here. So this is the question for part 1. So mind that candidates should write their answers in 120, 150 words and in appropriate style. We should train our students to read the question carefully and underline the most important parts, of course. So they need to make a plan, referring closely to the question and looking for opportunities to develop their ideas and show the range of language. So the time limit is 1 hour and 20 minutes for both parts, you see. And it's just only enough to make a brief plan and to write the letter. So that's why you should train the students to write their tasks, just no rough papers. Yeah, no rough papers, just that. That's it. So linking parts effectively is that students should do, of course, because using a variety of linking words is very important in this part. So your students should be encouraged to use a range of complex language, complex structures. So, and if they do so and make mistakes, the examiner will always give credits for the complex language. Yeah? As well as the mistakes do not impede communication. So, and also our students should write correctly in spelling and punctuation, but spelling errors and faulty punctuations are not specially penalized in this task. Okay. I'm going to tell you what I personally do to train my students to write the first part. I usually use this kind of book as Spotlight on FCE. It's a very useful book, and it really helps to prepare our students to write letters and emails and any source of the second part material. So, and we also use State Exam Maximizer. So it's written by Semagova, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So there are some parts devoted to writing. Yeah. And Enterprise 4. I'm going to present some tasks from these books today. So how to teach the students to write correctly. So our candidates should be aware that the overall aim of the task is to achieve a positive effect on the target reader. And the important features of the task achievements are organization, cohesion, clear layout, use of register appropriate for the audience, control and accuracy of language. So let's look at the tasks that can be used to prepare the students. So first of all, we should teach them the differences in registers, formal and informal styles. So this exercise is taken from our Enterprise 4. So it's letter writing, where we can ask them questions. Yeah, who do you write letters to? Regular letters, formal letters. Yeah. Then look at these different layouts. They should differentiate which style is it taken from. Yeah? So here is the characteristic of formal and informal styles that should be given to the students. So the characteristic of formal style is the correct greeting, frequent use of passive voice, formal language, complex sentences, no colloquial English, no abbreviated forms, and the closing remarks should be yours sincerely, yours faithfully. So it's for characteristic of informal style of letters, the greeting, friendly greeting, informal language, idioms, colloquial English, abbreviated forms pronounced that are omitted, and the closing remarks, as usual, yours, best wishes, regards, etc. So, you should give your students the plan, for the letters. So here it is, the introduction paragraph, where they give the reasons for writing, main body, it can include 2 paragraphs with the development of the subject, and conclusion, the final paragraph is closing remarks with the full name. So, and note how to write a good letter, so the points. So, what shall we do to practice the students in differentiating formal and informal styles? Look at the sentences. They should say which sentence can start or end a letter, whether the letter is formal or informal, and what kind of letter sentence belongs to. So let's look at the first one. I'm writing to request advice on a business matter. Is it formal or informal? Of course it's formal. Does it start or end a letter? It starts the letter, of course. And what kind of letter is it? It's the letter. It's the letter of request, yes, because in the formal style there are, formal and informal, there are different kinds of letters, and the letter of request. Let's take the 7th point. Once again, thanks for all your help. What style is it? What register?
Informal.
Informal, yes. Does it end or start? It's at the end, of course. And what's the purpose of writing?
Thanks.
Yes, it's the letter of giving thanks. It's the letter of giving. So such stuff can be given to your students to practice that. So it's a good idea to show your students 2 models, that is good one and the bad one. And they should choose which is good, which is bad, and justify the answers. So there are 2 models, A and B. So just scan the models and tell me which is a good one.
A.
A. Just look at the beginning and at the ending. So the beginning is correct, but the ending is not in model B. So and as far as the language, it also can be noticed here, so that some informal phrases are used in model B. So this task can help you to teach your student underline the keywords, because so Inga Vladimirovna has already mentioned that it's very important to underline the key information in every task. So this exercise suggests read the extract from a friendly letter and decide what type of reply the writer would receive. Then they underline the keywords that indicate what information should be sent. So it's also an audio exercise. They should listen and see that information is mentioned right below. So this exercise is very useful to teach a student to begin and end the letter. You should give expressions. You should give them the expressions that can start and end the letter. So, and again, they are formal and informal. The differences between them can be taught by doing this exercise. Okay. Would you like to complete it? Okay. So let's look at the first one. I'm writing to request your help. What's the ending?